Hello, good evening, and welcome. Episode 13, JMK Custom Works Live. Mikey, that is John. How we doing?
Let's take a look here.
James Lucas. Well done. Well done, sir.
James was indeed first. David's number 2.
What's up, Masterson?
Maybe it is a race. And Josa?
I don't know.
G-Force Racing.
Good evening. Good evening. Son of a crown, sir. Hello, sir. Hello. Mom. Hi. Love you.
Hello, Shannon.
Well done. Well done.
All right.
All right. Got a couple people here. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I've got the water's hot, so I'm just going to get into it. As we're
going to break this dude apart.
We're going to break this dude apart. We're going to break him apart. So, go ahead and start breaking him down.
Woody.
What up, people?
Jake, thanks for being here.
Mr. Anderson.
Nice and easy, lemon squeezy.
Well, I had the double-sided tape, so the peg is in there.
Oh, okay. Doing a build like this gives us an opportunity to make improvements to the kit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Masterson, I don't know why you're assuming that I've stopped peeing the bed at all. Into the Banta tank he goes. That water that's legitimately hot, in case you were wondering.
White Vegeta, hello. Figure Fight Club.
Abby, what's up, sir?
Thanks for being here, man.
Appreciate you. Get yourself in there.
Stew for lunch. Happy May 14th to you, too.
Stew. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right.
I know Abby's name. I just like saying Figure Fight Club like that.
Nothing wrong with that. You come up with a clever name, you can't expect people not to use it.
How hot does the water need to be? Just under boiling is about perfect.
Yeah.
If you got a good water heater and your water comes out pretty hot, a lot of this can be done just with faucet water. But some of the things Mikey's getting ready to do will, especially the shoulder joints, will require extra hot water.
Yeah, the shoulder joints are the biggest pain. Those you want pretty darn hot.
Maximilian, hey man.
Max, what's up, buddy? There he is.
The Canaan.
The Canaan.
Yes, everybody like, subscribe, and share if you like this sort of content.
I'm not a fan.
What are you trying there?
That's that prickly cactus water.
Oh, prickly cactus water. Word.
No, that's not a big boy activity, Max. It's just not. Oh. Stu, you silver-tongued devil. Well put.
Thank you, sir. Oh, good. You have a backup drink. I was worried you were stuck with that one.
No, I got my tea. So most of this has already been prepped when I did it several weeks ago to test the fit and everything. So prep is done. Scuffed up the tanks and the tanks. Still a little left to do, but most of it is done. I'll tell you this week.
Of course, I remember what that was like. 3 days out of town. Mine was hardly ever 3 days, but
yeah, I don't remember any 3 days. Scuff these up a little bit, and then we can prime them.
Yes, David, he's going to heat that thing up, take it apart. We're going to do a little boil and pop action tonight. Hey, Mac.
What's up, sir?
Yes, I am. That is exactly what I'm going for. I figure when I get to DFW, this is going to be the only way I can get one of those drinks where they pour it with the welding mask on and use the tongs to pour it. I figure if I got one of these, I'll be all right.
Oh, okay. That's your plan.
Alex, doing great. Thanks for being
here.
What's up, Alex? Actually, no. This is normally what I do. The most recent job I have is I have to wear a respirator a lot, and they get really bent out of shape about facial hair. So I toned it back a little bit. Now I feel like it's time to go back to my roots.
He's not kidding. The Fu Manchu has been a kind of a staple for a long time. It hasn't been constant, but it's always been a go-to.
Cliff, welcome. Thanks for being
What's
here.
Up, Cliff?
Just a reminder, everybody, to do this. Mikey had to take the ridges off that Techno Viper vest so that the Dragonsky sleeve would fit nicely.
Yeah.
This is a good one to use because of the collar under it. Looks very much like a Russian collar.
So it's got these hose, but if you do like the boil and pop or heat gun, it peels off and there's just like a high ridge underneath, and that's what you got to sand off. That way the vest sits nice and flush.
James, I'm not used to seeing that written in a way where it was talking about my mustache. Funny story. My dad really tried hard sometimes to be topical, and Mikey had called it a Fu Manchu at one point. And so a couple weeks later, my dad said, "Oh, growing out the high karate," is what he called it. And I just thought that was funny, So
I do not remember that.
Max is asking, "What you bringing to DFW?"
I got all kinds of stuff to bring to DFW. I don't know. I don't reckon that I'll sell much at Joe Fest because I'm not set up. Or maybe I'll sell a few, but I'm planning to have around 20 to 30 figures for DFW. Different stuff, different eras, all customs. I even started toying around with doing some adventure team.
Yes, Master Son, just like the cologne. Oh, that's cool.
So I've had this one, the one that this torso came from for a while, but I picked this one up. He was, I think, $12 at Brute Squad, and so I thought a couple of adventure team would be kind of cool, especially at DFW because there will probably be like legit 1960s or 70s adventure team. So it might be kind of cool, and maybe I could get one of the 12-inch collectors to buy a classified if it matched their figures, maybe, I don't know,
Maybe.
I'll order. There's no, I would not be able to get that done. You can put the order in, but I won't be able to have it done by DFW.
Yes, James. It was a very very significant cologne. Very sophisticated.
So I'm looking at the tolerance on this. This is a lot different than the tripwire torso. I mean, most of the other pieces of this are the same, but there's not much tolerance in between the hard plastic and the soft. And I do worry that that's going to immediately scrape paint. So I am going to try to remove a little bit of that. and I'm planning to have a couple of 1/12 scale Palatoy Action Force vehicles on bringing to be brought on my trip as well. So those are coming along. But this last weekend, several hours were spent building the decal sheets from scratch, which really not my forte.
Max, we're bringing a bunch of our kits. I have a bunch of our kits available.
Hell yeah.
Action Assault and Sci-Fi and Dragonsky. Maybe a couple of bonus items. Robert says, significant clone, I have been summoned. Thanks for being here, Robert. White Vegeta wants to know, he's done a simple custom kit bash Sergeant Slaughter with big boa legs to make USA Sarge, and was surprised I've not seen more people do something similar.
That's interesting. I am surprised that there hasn't been more Sergeant Slaughter variations, not from Hasbro, because I feel like they've done 2 in a pretty short amount of time. But I'm surprised that other people don't do them. I mean, even that version 3 I did. You know, that's the coolest version of Sarge in my book, and I'm not a Sarge guy, but
the Warthog driver.
Yeah, the Warthog driver. That's a cool one.
What's a good affordable olive drab paint?
I mean, Citadel has some.
Ken's Toys is here.
Okay.
I'm going to invite my nephews over so I can beat them up in Smash Brothers. That sounds like a solid evening.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, so here's Pro Acrylic. This is drab brown, but they have one that's a little more green. But this is a nice brand. I've recently started using that brand. Here's a Citadel Death World Forest. This is probably the easiest one to get out of all of these. Probably second to Army War Paint or War Paints. Elf Green is a good shade. And then these are limited, but this is some of the best paint I've used, and it's Two Thin Coats Green Beret. It's a little more olive than the traditional green, but there's
Two Thin Coats is highly recommended.
It really is.
If you're into a custom, you want it to last, that paint is great. Coverage is amazing.
Very, very good. Very, very good. Good paint.
You're welcome.
And I'd imagine all that shit's going to go up in price if it hasn't already.
Well, yeah.
Most good hobby paint is imported. That's from England, and I don't England's tariff is all that high.
Well, that's where the Model Master paint came from, isn't it? Isn't that part of why Testers was pulling it out, was because they were trying to lower the amount of suppliers they had everywhere and just having a couple of different ones?
Was that the reasoning?
That was part of it. They wrote like this almost entire page, like letter to the fans that why they were doing it, and it was, if I remember correctly, it all just sounded kind of weird. Like maybe that wasn't the real reason. I don't know.
Like trying to figure out a way to make it sound like they were doing it for us.
Yeah,
like a corporate email.
It's for your own good.
Yeah.
Mendoza Model Master acrylic paint was some of the best paint ever made.
It's so good.
Ken's Toys says, now I'm curious about the vehicles. Give us a hint. Well, he said Action Force. Come on, man.
There's a hint.
That's a pretty good hint. GeForce Racing said he'd like to hear the president's views on the increase in hobby paint prices.
Not a fan. I wish there was more I could do, but they won't make the deal. It's out of my hands.
$610 Yo-Joe Daddy stopping in to say what's up.
What's up, buddy? Appreciate you, dude.
Joe Fan 84, gonna catch us on the replay. Thanks for dropping in, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Oh, celebrity. Rowdy Riles is in the house.
What's up,
Rowdy? Thanks for being here.
So I did make a little room in there. Should be enough. Famous last words, I guess.
Rowdy says she's no celebrity.
Well, that's not for you to decide. That's
I don't think you get to decide if you're a celebrity or not.
Yeah. That's out of your hands now. Just gonna have to learn.
J-Mac says you are a celebrity because you won last night.
Oh, see?
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Championship victory lap.
Mm-hmm. Can't be claiming that stuff. You walking around with a fresh belt.
Yeah. Robert says I'm a legend in my own mind, so that is close to celebrity.
That works.
All right, so yep, celebrity status achieved.
Looks like we made it.
All right. Rowdy gives in. She'll take it.
All right. That's how deals are made right there.
Stacy's here.
Stacy! What's she ewing? What are you ewing, Stacy?
I think she just realized she's a celebrity by proxy.
Oh.
Mendoza says you've got skills. He'd still be trying to pull the figure apart. I knew it. She was ewing Robert.
Oh.
Robert said, probably me. I told you.
Well, what can you say? They know each other pretty well.
Well, here's an endorsement from David, Mikey for president.
Oh, shit.
If he ran, it would be great if every time he was in front of the TV, he did a different voice. Like did the whole thing in a different voice.
That way my constituents wouldn't tire of me because I would just be a different person.
Yeah, anybody that tried to imitate you would basically be imitating an imitator, and that's ridiculous.
That's, yeah. Imitaception. That's a dangerous game. I think I've successfully undone the mistake of using double-sided tape on that. Cool. Now the backpack and the gun, they're supposed to be chrome, right?
Yeah, they're silvery in the comic.
Okay, so if I could paint them silver and then dry brush chrome.
Yeah, I think the LPO 50 was actually like it usually came out whatever the raw metal color was. Once in a while, they would shoot some of that Soviet drab green on it. Most pictures I have, the tanks are green.
The tanks are green? Interesting.
But I'm going to assume Dragonsky's is a bit customized, so.
Yeah, I would say that's probably accurate.
Thanks, Rowdy. Definitely smash that like button.
Yes, please.
Uh-oh.
What are you uh-ohing?
Yes, David, I hope that he does.
Take it to the limit.
And the idea is you see those basic gray kits, and then you see what you can do with it.
Ooh, dang. Max smashed it good. Oh, this is the hint to the other vehicle. Here's your hint, people.
That's a good hint. It's a really nice looking gunner seat.
This piece is custom. John did that. It was a Cobra, but now it's not.
I'll bring a couple of those to DFW once everybody sees what it goes in. They might want one, try it themselves.
Yeah. I hope I just impress Ben with it and he buys it.
Ooh, yeah.
Or maybe at the very least, maybe lets me display it with the Roboskull.
Hey, Jacob. Thank you.
What's up, buddy?
We are good.
What a guy.
Mikey's carving up parts for the Dragonsky custom tonight. For anybody that's joining a little late. Tony,
what's up, bud? How the hell are you?
David says if that's what the seat looks like in the original Roboskull, Mikey, you are on the way to an awesome vehicle, bud.
Oh.
Well.
Yeah. Could be. Could be.
Keep them guessing.
It's not that though. I haven't customized the Roboskull. Zach still hasn't sent me that Roboskull to customize, so I haven't done that yet. I think he wants to see if him doing what Bobby told him not to do and make a Robo Skull for a custom bone collector. If he actually goes against his wishes and does it, if that's gonna, Bobby will say so. You know, Bobby always says he doesn't like his stuff customized. You know. Doesn't
Well,
that's
too
to
bad.
stop anybody.
That's too bad. I hate to hear that because that's actually pretty cool when you find out someone's using your stuff to do put their own spin on it.
I think so. I mean, if you found out people were buying these Dragonsky kits to make Star Wars figures,
I'll be excited to see that.
yeah, I'd be like, oh, that's pretty creative. Well done. Well done.
Father Son Galaxy, welcome.
Tony, well put. Well put. That's the kind of thing I expect from the Gridiron Gang. So of the 28 people watching, how many of y'all are going to DFW? Let me know. Also curious if any of you guys are going to Joe Fest, because that is also curious.
Well, GeForce Racing, that's a good. I mean, that's a good. That's one way of looking at it. But I wouldn't be losing money if I made exactly what the people wanted and they didn't feel the need to customize it. I mean, there's some things you just have to accept you're not going to be able to do. Jimmy Purvis says he's going to be at both Joe Fest and.
Attaboy.
That's the way to do it.
Attaboy. Are
really,
you driving
Robert?
to both? Oh,
really, shit. Man?
It's Bush. It's Bush League, man. Jacob, did you clear it with Chad that you would just ride in his back seat?
GeForce is coming to Joe Fest.
Right on.
If Jocko's not going to make it right now.
Dang it. It's too bad. I get that.
I hope that makes sense.
It's a lot. Back to back it's a lot.
Well, I'm sorry, Cliff. That sucks. Ken's Toys will be at DFW.
Right on.
Oh, Mendoza got him a Destro. Sweet.
Nice. Good deal.
Oh, David, that sucks, man. Nothing worse than losing your PTO time over an accident.
Yeah,
Sucks
that's
so bad.
it sucks, man.
Tristan T says he'll be in and out, following up on all those pre-orders.
Oh, it does happen today. Joe pre-orders, I assume.
Jimmy says he's going to be driving to both.
Same.
12 to 13 is not bad. We've done that a couple of times going other places. Master Son 42 is flying into Augusta. Yeah, I don't blame you, man.
Fuck Atlanta.
Then drive to DFW. Sweet.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Cool.
James said he was planning on going to DFW, but unexpected expenses. Yeah, that sucks, man. I hate that.
Yep. That sucks. I think good on this. Time to start the dremeling.
Okay. And Joseph says rock and roll. You got to notify that rock and roll is coming even earlier now, June 6th. That's cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, right on.
David says cool because he gets all his days back in July. Nice.
Not a bad reset.
So this is a good time to, while Mikey's doing that, it's a good time to say that the reason he was looking for a Destro was the DFW workshop with a couple of coupes. Destro will be the base body for the Spaceman build. So. And Jimmy is going to IshCon this weekend. That's a good show.
It looks like a good show. I'm hoping Roll Keeper can snag me up some of those white Praetorians. I think those are pretty dope.
I did see that, Rowdy, that they'd kind of gotten their sanity back on the pre-orders.
Oh, really? That's nice.
Yeah, Hasbro had stopped them. I don't know if they're still stopped, but stopped taking new pre-orders anyway.
Shady bastards.
I remember when what we worried about China was starting a war, and now we're worried about their raising their prices on toys. They're back up now. That's awesome. Thanks, Roddy.
Cool.
Yeah, the game. 5th generation warfare. Exactly. We shall fight to the last reel.
The battlefield is not physical, but digital. Ask not what your social media can do for you, but what you can do for social media. That's my best.
Damn the dislikes. Full speed ahead. Yeah, on the Destro, if you guys catch a couple of Kook show, we are slowly building what that kit is going to look like. So Sunday we'll have some new pieces to show off. Yeah, Dark One will be an interesting addition. Kinetic warfare is out. Psychological warfare is in, baby. Hell yeah.
It's all a psyop.
If we can get Les Grossman to lead the charge.
Now we're talking.
Well, Stu, I'm sorry you're not going to be a DFW, but I understand that. You got to start slow when you get back into it. Mikey's doing a little joint prep here. You guys have seen this before. He usually does this to make sure that after he paints it, that the joints don't scrape and pull the paint off after you put all that work in. We probably will bring this up later, but Mikey, Zakanin, and Quentin will be on Figure It Out tomorrow night.
Hell yeah.
Father Son Galaxy says it's getting easier to find a Mezco Destro than a Classified.
That's crazy, but you're right.
Yeah, when we started the project and decided that's the body we were going to use, you could get Destros all over the place.
They were like $12 on Amazon when we started this shit.
Robert asks, will they figure it out though? Robert, that is that's kind of the whole theme. You watch, you wonder if they're going to figure it out. You think, well, maybe next week they'll figure it out. So you got to watch again.
At some point, maybe we will.
Zakanin says that in the series finale, maybe, but I don't trust him. I think it'll be a cliffhanger. I think we'll still be waiting. Son of a Crayon Slayer says Amazon has the retro Destro for $25 right now.
I mean, it's a fair price, you know.
That's fair. Zakan says, or we'll do it like Lost or Sopranos, maybe Newhart. Maybe when you guys come back, you'll do it like that episode of Dallas where Bobby wakes up and it was all a dream. The last season was a dream.
Wasn't there a Breaking Bad scene that they didn't use where it was Malcolm in the middle? The dad like woke up and it was a dream.
Robert says, try the Andor ending. Lead into the prequel of the prequel. Man, they wrapped that show up nice, didn't they? It's a little meandering in the beginning, but man, the last few episodes were.
What's it lead to? Rogue One?
Yeah. But man, it really, especially in Disney it's really good, hard to find a good villain, but holy shit, they showed how the Empire really, how methodical and precise they could be in using psychological warfare, and it's a pretty good ending for that show.
I've not
Like
watched
I said, I wasn't sure where they were going at first. The first few episodes were just like, man, come on. But holy cow, they brought it together in the end.
Huh. I haven't watched any of that show, season 1 or 2, so.
Agreed. It is really good. They really did it. Huh. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Robert. It's like they really showed that is the Empire that you were supposed to fear in A New Hope. I mean, we're not no Jedi's, no Force users, no Darth Vader, just straight up bad guys. Well, James, a lot of people hated that. And then comics have been doing it ever since. So,
what was he saying?
He was saying he hated the dream shit.
Oh.
It was silly, but you know, when you get to a point where you're like, "Holy cow, what are we going to do now?" We painted ourselves in a corner.
Crisis event.
Yeah, nobody was doing alternate realities on the tubes, so they didn't think about that.
Did Chuck Ward ever take you to Hayes?
Did what?
Did Chuck Ward ever take you to Hayes in your food tours?
I'm not sure. We went to a lot of places that I don't remember.
Tiny little hole in the wall burger joint that's famous for like chili burgers.
The downtown?
No, it's in Gladstone.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Really?
We went to several of those kinds of places.
I know you guys went to all kinds of places. I always wondered if that was one of them. It seems like a Chuck spot, is why I asked.
Gun Bunny Customs is here. Good evening.
Gun Bunny Customs is here. What's up? Gun Bunny, are you going to Joe Fest or DFW?
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, mine. This one.
The one that just asked the question. Yeah, James, I remember that. Married with Children did that. It was a dream episode.
Oh God.
Gun Bunny says the plan is DFW right now.
Right on, dude.
Good deal. This is Kanan. Thanks for being here, man. Talk to you later, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks, brother. Love you, dude.
9 p.m. Central. Figure it out.
Damn straight. Gotta
Frank's
join us
here.
for the first superhero draft.
Sweet.
Pretty excited about it. It was an idea as they came, and I had that Monday night when we were talking after Mega Powers. We were talking about build like favorite like matchups, and then we were like, well, what about like fantasy matchups where they would be like they never have teamed up, but wouldn't it be cool if? And then, honestly, there's probably not many people that haven't teamed up realistically.
Right now, after all this time.
Yeah, now and after like Marvel Comics Presents, like, dude, they did all kinds of weird team ups and mashups.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, what if we just built a team? Like we could do a 5-man team. So that's what we came up with.
Yeah, man, Joseph, they did, and that's kind of it's funny because a lot of people don't realize how many times shows back then that would run a lot more seasons than what we usually see now. They would kind of paint themselves into a corner, or some tragedy would happen or something. They were like, okay, we can't do that anymore. So what are we going to do? And the writers would be like, it was a dream or it was an imagination. It was all in somebody's imagination, and went with it. And sometimes they pulled it off. And Stu actually just spelled it out all in the mind of a kid. Spoiler alert for a 40-year-old TV show.
Oh.
Well, Stu, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that never watched St. Elsewhere. So.
I know I didn't.
Stu was like 8 years old watching that stuff and Hotel with James Brolin. I really liked James Brolin when I was a kid. I don't know why. I thought he was pretty cool.
I still think James Brolin's cool.
Son of a Crayon Slayer, where do we book for the workshop? Let me see if I can find that.
DFW.com.
Yeah, I think you can go on DFW.com if you have, I think you have to have the Commander's package.
Yes.
And if you have signed up for that, you can sign up for the class.
Yeah, when you go to purchase tickets, the classes are at the bottom. And what is our panel about?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Mikey. I forgot that we also had a panel. So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
believe
Well, I did too.
I believe what we'll do is we'll do the workshop and then we will wrap up anything at the panel.
I remember we had talked about doing something like that, like getting a panel, and then if people like need something else or we didn't need to cover something else, we would have an extra hour later.
Yeah, so we'll go over a couple of things. I think we'll probably do a what the future of the couple of kooks is. Yeah, Stu, I like Sam Waterston a lot too. And then Joseph says Capricorn 1 was a favorite of his. Yeah, I liked that show too. We're showing our ages here, boys.
Yeah, I never saw any of those.
Talib.
Talib, what's up, bud? How the hell are you?
Yeah, so I
Talib
think we'll
and
go over the future projects, kind of lay out the next few months of what we think we're going to be doing, and by that time we should have a pretty solid roster. So. Cliff says he keeps cringing that you're going to slip and slice your finger, and I too was noticing why you're not wearing that fancy finger
yeah,
protector.
I don't have my finger things on. Good call, boys.
Good call, Cliff.
Cliff,
Might have saved his life.
thanks for looking. Well, he wants to make sure I don't cut myself and not able to work on heads that he procured.
Well, that's the thing. These guys are looking out for you and their investments, Mikey, and that is
smart. It's smart, is what it is.
That is very smart.
I got to tell you, a real small part of our trip, but I'm really looking forward to it, is going through Louisiana.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
I'm pretty excited about the cuisine aspect of that. I've been craving some Cajun. And the best spot we have up here, COVID almost killed them, and they went back to just being a food truck. So, and they really only do like events.
Talib says that would make a horrible condom, but I'm not sure that the wearer really gets to decide that.
I don't mean to sound braggadocious, but that's just not going to work.
Well, I think he was talking about the material, Mike.
Oh, the material.
I'm hoping he didn't mean, because yeah, if they the size, yeah,
it's the size of my index finger. Sheesh.
Master Son 42 wants to know if we're going to stop and see him in Louisiana.
No, I assumed you would see us from your vantage point.
David says, "What? Mikey injure himself? Nah." oh, David. Oh, David.
No, definitely not. tell you something I do need to do before a trip. I haven't done it in a couple of years, but I need to go through and verify the carry laws in the states that we'll be going through.
Verify what? The carry
laws? Yeah.
Guys, I did post in the chat that link to the DFW show where you can get your commander package and choose what workshops. And again, when you're doing that, if you can possibly swing trying to get into that vehicle building workshop, it is definitely worth it especially if you're a O-ring fan.
Yeah, that's a hell of an experience.
Master Son says in Louisiana and Texas in your vehicle, you're good to go. What's your driving route?
All right, well that's good. I'm pretty sure GA is the same as Missouri. I think Tennessee is the same. Can't remember what Kentucky's is. I think it's the same. I think they'll honor a constitutional carry even. But I don't know about I don't know about Alabama or Mississippi. Yeah, Texas and Louisiana, that's good. I don't care for road tripping without a little security.
Yeah, anytime really it feels like when you go somewhere that you really don't know where you're going to end up
because we have ended up in some sketch ass spots. The time we almost got stranded in Memphis, that was a shitty time. And the time I took the wrong exit in Atlanta, that was a sketch ass time.
Those were both sketch ass times.
One of those I was strapped for. One of those I was not.
I will say this although this is a tedious part of customizing, when you are doing a custom figure, this is what elevates it to the next level when you can position the figure any way you want, not worry about the joints peeling off or the original color shining through. This is super important. If you're never going to pose or do anything with it, it's not such a big deal.
Yeah, my thing was I never did it when they were just for me. I didn't care. But now they're not just for me.
Jimmy says that he will usually carry in New York and reload when he gets to Atlanta. Or he carries a NY reload when he goes to Atlanta. I thought he said he did it the other way. So I think any time you think you're going to be in Atlanta, you should be sure you're ready.
I 100% agree with that.
And Joseph says, when I was a kid, there were all kinds of things that I imagined as a vehicle of some sort. Maybe it was all the cool design products back in the day. That is true. I worked with a designer one time, and he was designing a boat console, like a really modern look for the bath boat console and windshield going together. And he got his inspiration on his inspiration board. He had tacked up there a picture of the Emperor's guards from Return of the Jedi. And that was what he was looking at for one of his inspirations of the design. Son of a crayon slayer says, I was pulled over by a good old Georgia trooper while driving from Florida to Kentucky. He said he stopped me because of my license plate. Told me not to stop in this state. I didn't do shit.
Not to stop in his state. Okay.
Yeah, that's wild. I've been pulled over for some pretty weird reasons before. Machine Man wants to know, do you guys sand off the mold lines or leave them for a toy look?
I don't do much with the mold line unless it's like really harsh. It's one of those things, if it stands out, then I'll take care of it. But like this, I'm not going to worry about that.
Yeah, I think usually the only time I really modify anything like that is if I'm putting two parts together that maybe don't quite match, and you can see that line messes up the look.
Yeah, if it stands out, that's something. But nothing I'm doing is supposed to be like hyper realistic, so seams are okay.
Yeah, usually when I'm customizing figures, I just want it to look like a factory made it.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much what I do. Like,
but that's what I do.
Toy.
That's what I do when I design a figure. Is I think about what it's going to look like in the package. It was on Figured Out. We were talking about those biblical adventures figures. You got the shipping notice for that Kickstarter.
Yeah, I've seen people getting them in hand. I was giving Zakanin shit about it on Monday when we were on Mega Powers. You got the one that looks like I think it's supposed to be Michael.
Yeah.
It looks like a statue. Yeah. Pretty cool.
I really like the look of it on the Kickstarter.
Very cool. I did not back that Kickstarter. It's pretty neat.
I did. I'm kind of a sucker for a good Jesus Christ action figure.
Well, I know you are.
Somebody told me there's like little vending machine size ones. I'm gonna have to find some of those.
Somebody at work had one that was like an inch tall. I just randomly saw it on a electrical outlet. And I was like, well, that's a funny little Easter egg.
Son of a Crayon Slayer would like to see a custom Jesus Rambo mashup.
Oh, shit.
Well, I do have a Jihad Jesus in 1/6 scale.
That's true. Yep.
Quentin, what's happening, man?
Quentin, what's up, buddy? Getting ready for our show tomorrow night, are you?
Cliff's asking if we saw what the Patriot Force teased as an unlock. I did not. What am I missing? What was it, Cliff? Quentin is excited.
Right on, man. We are excited too.
Quentin, are you excited because you get to be in front of a non-captive audience? Or is it just the idea of being on there with the wackiness that happens on Figure It Out every Thursday at 9 p.m. Central?
Look at this. Look at this guy.
Cliff says a 60 millimeter mortar. Well, that's cool.
Oh, I should have known. You brought it up. I should have known it was a mortar. Right on.
Quentin said both. Okay. Well, I know. Captive audiences are great until they start banging around in the basement trying to get out. It's a good way to try out new material, though.
Well, that is true. I think Zakanin just wants to talk about Mexican food with you, dude. I think that's.
Quentin said that you said he had to draw nude superheroes on camera, so we'll see how it goes. Okay.
Well, I'm excited to see what you come up with.
So once again, nude superheroes on camera on Figure It Out tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Central.
Do you enjoy superheroes? Do you enjoy the art of Quentin J. Bedwell? Such titles as Action Farce and the upcoming Jacob Kane Western, then you're going to want to tune in to Figure It Out Thursday night, 9 o'clock Central Time. Watch Quentin J. Bedwell draw your wildest superhero fantasies.
Sheen Man says, never done it, but can you cheat on smoothing knife marks with a soldering iron?
think that would be too hot. I think you'd just make a big mess.
I think
I don't
that
know.
depending on if you're gonna paint over it or not. If you're gonna paint over it, you could probably use that same kind of use a Dremel bit that has the really fine grooves in it and smooth it out. If you're not going to paint over it, there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can still use the Dremel bit to get it down and then start sanding it, and then basically sand it with the highest sandpaper you can and then buff it out a little bit and get it to match the original finish. I've done that on some 3 3/4 figures that were going to be bootlegs. I'm just going to be honest. They were going to be bootlegs, but we needed to remove pieces of them so they weren't exact copies. So I would shave them off, then use that technique to polish them back up so it would come out of the mold okay.
Bootleg toys, you monster.
Yeah, it does work. It's a little more of a challenge on the vinyl that the new figures are made out of. There's a little more of a challenge to it because if you spin that Dremel too slow, it will just dig into the plastic. So you really want a gentle hand on that, or just sand it by hand. Use something with a hard back on it so you don't put a finger groove in it or anything.
I know for the softer stuff, I've used a vinyl, the little brush heads for the Dremel.
Yeah.
Spin the little brushes and it'll kind of buff it. You got to be careful not to get it too hot, but it did work.
If you are like trying to make knife marks or cut marks, then a really warm X-Acto knife blade is the way to do that, because when you cut and you just get into the surface a little bit and start to drag it, it will leave a little bead around each side of it, which almost looks like the flesh is cut and peeling back. There's lots of tricks there. And I do know they make soldering iron tips that are like an X-Acto blade. So as long as you control it, I'd practice on. If you were going to do that, I would practice on another piece that wasn't important and get your pressure and your technique down before you actually start cutting on the piece you want to use.
Yeah, get you a Snake Eyes movie figure for $4 and try it.
Yeah, Snake Eyes movie figure is a good one to cut on. We're about 4 minutes till 8, Mikey, just so you know.
Okay. That is good to know. Well, so we got into the prep. Didn't quite finish the prep. But,
Yeah, Cliff, if you can, wood burning tools are great because they do so much. They do have a few extra trinkets on them that a regular soldering iron doesn't have. So. And what's cool about something like that is if you do have a piece you can cut on, you just mess with it a little bit, try some different techniques. You might find something you didn't think about using that way, and you're like, oh, I could use that to do this kind of a mark or this kind of damage. Stu, thanks for being here. We appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
Stu, thank you, sir.
Quentin says, wrap it up, Chief. You got dishes to do. Just kidding. I'm doing dishes.
I don't have any dishes to do. I'm sorry that you do. We will see you tomorrow night, sir. So, like I said, we got most of the prep done. Got a few more joints to do. I will probably go ahead and do those off camera. I'll complete that. You've seen enough of that. You think you get what I'm doing there. I'm just going to go ahead and do the elbows and the knees, and then next week we can put them on skewers and maybe get the base coats done, something like that. So
okay,
I think that is what we will do.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yep. That's what we're gonna do. So you got your pick of what to do tonight, but as far as my time slot, that's all I got for you. I really again, I want to appreciate it. Make sure you guys all know that I appreciate each and every one of you watching, tuning in, watching me live, watching the replay squad. Appreciate y'all. All the likes, the comments. I can't say how much I appreciate that, because I do. You would not be.
It's awesome. It's awesome having people interact and ask questions and answer questions and all of that. It's cool. It's fun.
It is. It is. Even on this show where there's there's more dead air than a lot of shows because I'm working. So yeah. So thank you everybody that participates and engages. I want to keep doing it. So I want you guys to stay engaged. So if you got feedback, something you'd like to see, something you'd like me to walk through, let me know in the comments. Comment below, and we'll see if we can do something about it. Because I want to keep growing. I want to make the show better. All the things you want to do. So
what other stuff you got going on the rest of the week, Mikey? Till next week at this
time. Sunday we've got another episode of Couple of Kooks. Shane, thanks, buddy. Now we got another episode of Couple of Kooks. We'll be talking about updates on your kit. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be working on this guy.
So tune in Sunday morning, 10 a.m. We'll be doing that.
We'll be adding some parts, tweaking it a little bit as we go.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. There you go, David. That sounds awesome, man. Yeah. So that is that's all we've got this week. Appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, you have a good one. All right.